Hey everyone, it's like 2:45 in the morning. I was going to go to bed, um, but I was just waiting for some music to be transferred onto a little memory stick, so I thought I'd do myself a little reading and just shuffling the cards and thinking, what do I need to know right now? And I had a nice little card come up, basically telling me to be prepared for something coming in, and yeah, to expect some good things. But it was quite funny because it was right next to another card. Well, in the book, where I finished off my card, it went straight onto another one, so I instantly saw it. It's called Never Ending Story. I don't know if I can find the card quickly, maybe not. But it actually, when I read through it, because obviously, I do things like that, things that seem out of the ordinary, because I don't normally cut the cards and look at the cards. They don't normally sort of like, well, yeah, I try not to do that. So it's something out of the ordinary, so something that I got to listen to. But Jillian, I think this one's for you. I really do. Because I read through it and it's just what I wanted to express about your situation. And it fits in quite nicely with it. There's like 4 different messages in it. There's the oracle message, there's the relationship message, prosperity message, and protection message. These are brand new cards, I only got them the other day. I've done a couple of readings for myself, and I've handled them and everything, and they seem quite nice cards. And they seem quite to the point, and give you a little bit of guidance of what's going on. And this one, it says, Never Ending Story, essential meanings, self-criticism, wounded ego, unnecessary dramas. In the oracle's message, there is a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection, humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manners of suffering born from unnecessary dramas. It is an old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all that it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, small and vulnerable and easily soothed. Relationship meaning. It says, sometimes your heart enters into a contract with another that results in pain, not because of abuse or neglect, but for other more complex reasons. Shame, fear of intimacy, and low self-esteem are the greatest challenges to the success of a relationship. Consider how valuable this knowledge is. However, right now you have the opportunity for important healing, but you must reflect on the stories you weave about love, connection, abandonment, rejection, and loneliness. Not only do you need to begin a new story, You need to forgive yourself for telling yourself the old ones. Have compassion for the part of you that believes all those narratives. None of them were ever true anyway. Prosperity message. Fear, envy, procrastination, greed, and the perception of victimhood could all be active in your life at this moment. Are you comparing yourself with others, thinking their success should be yours? Maybe you're afraid of all the good that is coming your way, so you step out of your lane, totally aware of what you're doing but seemingly powerless to stop yourself. Are you back where you started, or in a situation that reminds you of past failures? Financial insecurities. Insecurity scaring you. You must learn to love yourself through missteps and sabotaging moments. You use criticism constructively right now. Better yet, stop telling this story altogether. Make up a new one. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure that out. Tell a new story and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. Protection mode. This is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's stuff. Your sensitivity is on overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is, not my circus, not my monkeys. All this drama will pass and you'll carry on unscathed and blameless. So, yeah, I thought that actually fit in exactly with what I said yesterday. The video I uploaded yesterday, I think it was yesterday anyway. I've not been sleeping very well, and I've still been going to college and everything, but I don't know, it's just been very weird lately. I seem to have got energy from nowhere. Doing sort of like a lot of readings for myself, and it was just something that didn't fit in with my life, but it actually fit in very well with what you're going through at the moment. So yeah, and I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm sure there's quite a few people out there that are going through the same thing. You know, it is very common, unfortunately. You know, and sharing awareness about it, and helping others out the same sort of situations, what it's all about. You know, I managed to get myself out of it, so I'm damn sure that anybody else can get themselves out of it. You know, all it takes is for you to move forward. Only you can do it. You know, you have to take that first step. I know it's scary. It is very scary, but believe me, it gets easier once you get over that initial panic of, you know, having to do whatever you have to do. You know, it does get easier, very much so. And when you've got your own time and your own space and your own thoughts, you can actually sit there and sort them out, and you can tell which ones are other people's thoughts, and you know, you've been conditioned to think about yourself, and which ones are actually your thoughts and what you think about yourself. You have to see which one's which, because people do leave an imprint deep down in your head, very much so, about what you think about yourself, and it's not necessarily true. If you know for a fact that you're a decent person, you know, and you know you're giving, you're loving, and you've got people telling you that you're the complete opposite, and that's all you've been told, then you have this misconception about who you are, and your internal voice isn't really yours, it's everybody else's. Their expectations, their rules, their way of wanting you to behave and things like that. You know, it all makes an imprint in there, and it affects your behaviour. For me, I made some very bad decisions. You know, I got in with the wrong people, very much so. But I couldn't recognise it. I knew that they, you know, a bit bad or whatever, did certain things and things like that, but I didn't really know there was anything different. You know, I'd seen sort of like good people and things like that, and you see things on telly and shit like that, but you know, for daily life, it wasn't my life, you know. Although I did get some sort of love and attention from some kind people in my family, I was around the toxic ones a hell of a lot longer, a lot more during the day. So the impact was more from them, and it outweighed the love and attention that I was getting from from the family members that could give me as much as they could, you know. Obviously there was other kids, you know, I had aunties and uncles, there was 5 of us, I mean, and then there was my granddad and my gran, you know, so he was out working, and, you know, there was others going to school, and I was the youngest, and, you know, it was just, yeah, but it took me a long time to realise who I was, and accept who I was on the core level, you know, deep down in your soul. I knew who I was. It's just that I was brainwashed to believe that who I was a bad person, and it was the complete opposite. And the only reason that I was brainwashed was for control. But it was by people that had no control over their own abilities, mental abilities, how they acted, how they reacted. You know, yeah, they might have known what they was doing, but could they help it? You know, it's a compulsion. It's the same as an empath. We have a compulsion to help people to heal, to make things better, to make things right, to fix things, to fix people, you know, to fix situations, to make people feel good. And we can't help doing that. It's like when we get hurt, we can't help feeling pain, you know. When somebody else gets hurt, we can't help but feel their pain. We know exactly what they're going through. We've felt it. We've already lived it. So this is how we feel. This is why we know exactly what people are going through. They don't have to say anything. It's just the energy that they give off is the exact energy that you've been in before you recognise it on a deep level. But I can, very much so, very much so. And it's hard because, you know, you see decent people that are trapped in their own beliefs about themselves, and it's completely wrong what they believe about themselves. Like, same with me, you know, I was completely oblivious to the fact that I'm a fucking decent human being, you know, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters in this world. So, yeah, if it means that you've got to walk away from toxic people so you can have this life, then yeah, I would recommend it 100%. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's free will. It's up to you. You know, I can't make you, nobody else can make you, can't force you. The only person that can make that decision to move forward is you. The only person that can make the decision to do the healing and then do the work, do the proper work that works for you, is you. You know, only you know how to make you happy. Only you know what's going to make you happy. Why put all that trust to find your happiness in somebody else, in somebody else's hands? Because they're not going to give you your happiness, they're going to want their happiness, you know. Sometimes that doesn't balance up, you know. It's nice when it does. I mean, there is situations where it does, you know. You find your soul tribe, your soul family, people that you are happy around, that are happy around you, make you feel good, encourage you, nurture you, want to do things with you, you know, want to help you grow, you know. That's what friendship is. That's what it should be about, and that's what a family should be about as well, you know. And a lot of us have been trapped in the complete opposite of what it should have been, and we just don't know any different. So, you know, don't ever feel guilty for making these decisions for yourself. You know, it's, if you was in a sound family with a sound mind, it would be the decisions that you'd make anyway, you know. It's just you've not been taught them. You've been taught something completely different and not very healthy, and it can affect your life in all aspects, your health, your daily living, you know. If it's if you carry on being in that sort of situation where your mental health is deteriorating, you do develop worse mental health issues. The depression gets worse, you get other things that kick in. It's just a coping mechanism that the brain does. It's coping skills that you do just to cope with the pain and the constant drama, you know. You start self-harming and things like that, and well, I did. And it's very difficult to see any other way out of it when you've not been taught. You know, self-harm is like a last resort of release for all the pain that you're feeling. I mean, sometimes, you know, it used to shock me out of that trapped mind. Because you get trapped in a cycle, the same thoughts over and over again. But it's thoughts that's gone on for a lifetime with different people, different scenarios, or the same people, but with different scenarios. You know, oh, I should have said this, I should have done that. Oh, if this is done, you know. Oh, the list can go on. You know, if you could sit there and write down all your thoughts when you're in that frame of mind, you'd be walking away with, if not more, pages. You know, you'd make volumes. When you read it back, it's just, it would not make sense. And you would sit there and you think, oh my God, how can a brain contain all of this? You know, how can my head used to be like that, constant. I couldn't shut it down. And it was just scenario after scenario of traumatic events that's happened through my life. You know, it could have happened like 15, 20 years ago, and it's still like fresh as the day. Still going over the same arguments, alternative situations, and, you know, things that I could have done, or an infinite loop of possibilities, and you get stuck. Very much so. And it just brings on other things. Your survival mode kicks in, very much so. And that's all you can concentrate on, is how do I survive this next day? How can I stop this from hurting me anymore? How can I stop this? And it's just constant thoughts, because you're trying to work it out. This is why I'm a very good researcher. There's so much stuff I've had to work out for myself, about my own illness, mental illnesses, about my own psychology, about everybody else's psychology, and oh God, and that's just tiny bit. I had to research about abuse and how to heal from it. In between learning about space and all sorts of other things as well, and other illnesses, and helping other people, and all sorts of things. But also how to heal. Sound therapy was a good one for me. Uplifting music, or brain frequencies, sound frequencies, stimulates parts of the brain that shut down when you're in sort of like depression, and it actually stimulates the parts that's not being stimulated. It does it through sound, through your ears. It's quite pleasant actually, you know. You can get pure tones. You get one tone going in this ear, or one frequency going in this ear, and a different frequency going in this ear, and they create a third separate frequency of your brain for certain parts in your head. And it's weird because you do feel the tingles moving around on certain ones. It's really good. I do think that's helped me. It's good for meditating and you know, for sleep and pain relief and all sorts. They're called binaural frequencies, healing sound frequencies. There's so many out there. Just pick ones that don't give you a headache. You know, use it at a low volume in the background. With headphones on works good. But as you progress using more on a daily basis, you don't need them, just a couple of speakers near you or something like that. As long as you're getting the two, making the one frequency, you'll be able to tell when you move your head. Yeah, it still has an impact. It's like I've got them going in the background now. This one's a meditation one, but it's got the frequencies embedded into it. I think this one's the singing bowls as well. I've got one of those. The bowls with, where you've got the stick in it, makes it a ringing sound. Very nice. That's very good for the brain as well, tingles. Stimulates good parts. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to stop this video now because it's like just gone 3:05, and I think I better go to bed. I don't want sleep, so I'm going to have to force myself. So, Jillian, I hope this has helped you a little bit, and whoever else is watching this, I hope this just opened your eyes up to how the brain works and how we can be manipulated into believing things that we shouldn't do, you know, and how we've been taught a lot of wrong things, wrong behaviour, and there is a way out of it, very much so. I am living proof today. And I still can't get over that fact. I really can't. It really is an amazing feeling to have a quiet head. You know, I'm trying to think of stuff and I keep stopping myself, and it's just silent. You know, I'm not going off into thoughts of anything else, and it's not shutting down. It's actually just quiet, and it's nice. It's strange to start with, but you get used to it. It's like with all the good things that come into your life. It's scary at first, and you don't think that you deserve it. You don't think you're worthy. You know, you've been told you can't have it. You know, you shouldn't go for that. You know, it's way above your league. You know, type thing. And that's not the case. You know, everything's open to you. You are capable of so much more than what you've been led to believe. I'm capable of a lot more than what I was led to believe, and I'm finding that out now, very much so. And it is, I've put in the work, and all those doors are opening now. But like I say, I'm 47, 48, in 32 days. Yes, I'm going to be 38 in 32 days. 48 in 32 days, sorry. So you're 18, you know, save yourself a lot of time. Do the work now while it's easy, while you've not got mental illness on top of mental illness on top of mental illness on top of psychological problem after psychological problem, you know, after big regrets, after bad decisions, after this, after that, you know, the list goes on. It really does. Doing the work when you're young, it'll save your brain a lot of work, very much so, and it can develop for something else then, can't it, you know? Put it to some good use instead of just pointless thought and inaction. Put it into finding your strength to move forward, finding your niche in this world, whether it's just being kind to other people and, you know, your neighbours, your friends, you know, being kind and open to them, helping them. You know, but make sure you're getting the same sort of thing back. Equal give and take, you know, keep the energy flowing, the good energy. going, yeah, your life will change, very much so. And because you're young, it will do it quickly. You're a fast learner, and I know you're intelligent. You know facts from lies, very much so. You've learnt that, very much so. Use that to your advantage. Take that knowledge forward and make better decisions about the people that you let into your life. But also know that you don't have to have people in your life. You're still safe. You can manage. You'll be very capable. I know you will. The head you've got on your shoulders. You've got it in you. You've just got to learn the basics and go from there. It's like everyone. We have to start at the bottom and work our way up. But start running. Start on a good foot. Start with the good knowledge to carry you on through, to get you to your dreams and your hopes and into those places that you want to be, with those people that will love you back, that will support you. So yeah, I've waffled on again, so it's 3:10 now, so I'm going to say good night, everybody. It's time for me to go to sleep.